Beginning of August and gloomy day. We finally got the rain that we so desperately needed. We've been in a drought. I thought I would share a different perspective of my yard from our deck. Things are mildly neglected. I've been traveling, heat of the summer, it's been high 80s, 90s, and very dry. I've been cutting flowers here and there. And I have vegetables that are thriving, cukes and tomatoes. Not a lot has happened on the southwest part of the house. Not a lot of blooms. Considering we've been in a drought, the lawn's not looking too bad. This is really the only color we've got going. Nothing really over here. Hostas are doing okay. I have rearranged a few, just trying to find that perfect harmony and color. This was one that was in the bed that I transplanted over there. It's a no-name free hosta I've had for quite a while. And things are looking full. I have been watering here and there. Love how the lamium is filling in the back there. I'm gonna have to transplant some to the other end. And I'm still thinking less is more, so I'm really gonna try to restrain myself next year from planting so many annuals early on. This was my blue ivory. I had planted it further down. However, I had a lot of pale and light colored hosta, so we're trying it back here where we've got some darker colors. I'm a little worried the leaves don't look great. Hopefully our variegated phlox will be in bloom soon, budded up nicely. And I still think it's so funny, we have a mystery astilbe that is tagging along in there. Not sure if it was a transplant, if it was in the pot with a bleeding heart, or maybe I threw it in there and didn't realize I did. Our yellow echinacea has come to life, and of course the bugs are devouring that. Orange echinacea is almost gone by. I think everything's budded out that's going to. Need to do some deadheading. It was the cutest thing. One morning there were 5 bees sleeping on these flowers. Albrighto coleus kind of looks nice with that. My lovely urn planter is hanging in there. It's droopy because of the rain. I do love the planter, but I need to find a better place for it to be a focal, I think. Stilbe's hanging in there. She dried out when I was on vacation. A little crispy, but I think she'll make it. Alyssum is living its best life as a border plant. Happy with that. And this is where the blue ivory was originally. So you can see we have this guy here, and then we have cool as a cucumber down there. I'd like to put another blue or maybe darker green and blue variegated in this area. Been cutting on the mint in the back. Need to do some deadheading now that we've had the rain. Ooh, bugs. Cardinal flower, I moved him over. He was kind of squeezed over here. And when I planted the snake root, it just didn't look right. So kept this full. Be coming along. Not much to see yet. And the random astilbe, we had a piece over here and then a piece further down against the rocks. I moved it over here temporarily, give it a little more space and grow on. Still not sure if I'm going to keep the spirea here. It's not quite the eye catcher I thought it would be with the blooms. I still think it needs more sun. I moved this planter back here because it's just a behemoth. And I had such big gaps between these shrubs that I just wanted to fill something in. And I kind of like the look of the urn. I do have another urn I never planted up, and it wouldn't be bad planted back here as a pair. Weeding, the grass is coming through. I did not do a lot of fill adding back here. It was kind of the last priority. So I might throw some more cardboard down for winter. I moved the anemone that was behind the butterbur over here so it could stand out a little bit more, and butterbur is just going to keep filling in over there. This purple salvia came back to life. That was the one that was planted by the stairs and was languishing. So I transplanted it, and sure enough, it's bounced back beautifully. It's the best looking one. The fuchsia salvia that are out front are much smaller than the purple. I don't think I will bother planting those again. They're just not quite the showstopper. Need to do some cleanup over here. A little neglected. Nicotiana needs some big deadheading. And I have not been monitoring for insects. Everything's kind of holding its own, but cutting garden has seen better days. I've been cutting on it though, so that's kind of the purpose. Phyllis Marigold is definitely the surprise favorite this year. Tall, feathery, beautiful. Enjoying that. Zinnias are a treat as always, so bright from far away. Love, love, love. Had to cut back a lot of the dill. It was going to seed. Gave some to friends. Cukes have been performing phenomenally. Oh my goodness, I have so many I have to pick, and I was just out here. Super happy with those. And there's a giant one in the corner. Lambada bee balm, beautiful plant. I have been cutting it for arranging. Takes some getting used to and how to use it, but love it. It's just one big bushy happiness. Salpiglossus is still going. I'm trying to deadhead it and cut it back. It's just so darn floppy, but it still looks pretty from afar. Bachelor button, same way. It's really difficult to deadhead those because they're just so branchy. But I've been cutting those. Phlox needs a cutting. And then this bed over here, which had the stalk in the front, snapdragons in the back, pulled out the stalk, and I now have some more zinnia. Threw some seed in there just to fill in. I could probably distribute them better so everyone has a fighting chance. And I've noticed every snapdragon gets these little bugs, whatever they are. I don't know. And they're always together, seem to be mating. I don't know. Tithonia has been a slow creeper. I have one in bloom. The two on the left get more shade. The one on the right obviously gets more sun. It's funny that it's shorter, but in bloom. I've been cutting these random snapdragons back here. I've cut the cleome back a little bit. I believe it will shoot out some buds on the side. I don't know. I haven't grown cleome before. Oh yeah, it is. This was the first one I deadheaded, and it's gonna do something. I just cut that one back, so maybe I'll cut the others back too. Try to get some longer lasting color. But that's fun, nice and tall. Happy with the pollinators. Mr. Stripey, happy to see. A lot of fruit has come along. And my bees are going to work. Good little things. Nothing turning ripe yet. The other plants in the other garden are. Like I said, we've been in a drought, so I'm happy the grass is green. Primarily we have weeds. I'm okay with that. And we haven't mowed it, I think, in probably 2 weeks, so some of the weeds are taller than others, but I'd rather have this than crispy, dry lawn. Not a lot of change other than fruit has been set, and it's kind of like the waiting game. Is the fruit going to come out nice? Will bugs get it? Will the drought ruin more things? I've had a lot of customers come into the store with blossom end rot, blight, cracking, splitting. In the front here, I had stuck some cuttings of my sedum, and I'm really happy a lot of them took. I will add more. Probably time to pull Mr. Smiley sunflowers out. They're not the most beautiful. And this, I have no idea what it is. It self-seeded itself. I don't know if it's a weed or if it's a leftover from the wildflower mix that I threw in the ground last year. It's very pretty. Snapdragons are still puny compared to what I've had the last couple of years. I'm still cutting them, just they're not a big impact like they have been in the past. I did take the netting down since the snapdragons are so puny. Here we have the jet stars. I've already eaten a few of those, just loaded with fruit. We have the black cherry. I've picked a handful of those. Those are really good, nice and crisp. Looks like I have some to harvest again. Garden Treasure. Beautiful tomato, really enjoyed that. Nice and large, super meaty. Yeah, see, like I'm getting this. I have to pick that one I don't want. Everybody else looks okay. Glads. I don't know that I'll do them again. I thoroughly enjoy them. When my parents grew them, they have a much larger garden and open space. For me, I don't know, if I'd spread them in the back in a line, I think I would like them better than how I have them grouped. They're gorgeous. It's just a long time to wait for them. If I were selling arrangements, it might be more useful. This Tithonia was the very first one to bloom and the last one to be planted. And obviously it gets a lot more sun than the back garden. Purple globe thistle, gorgeous. So happy to see that in bloom. Looks really nice with that yellow glad too. These are another showstopper. These little zinnia. I can't remember what they are called. I did order those seeds online. Really thrilled with them, how they branched out and just look beautiful from afar. They'd be a great border plant. This is the other jet star. Less sun than the other one, I think. Why we're so slow to get ripe fruit. Still looks healthy. This fox was planted last year. I don't know that it belongs there. I really need to think before I plant, but it's so hard when you see something beautiful at the nursery. You just want to bring it home and then, oh, I'll find somewhere to put it. Kind of like the globe thistle. I bought this the very end of season clearance plant, stuck it there because it was an open spot. I like it, but it looks kind of funny. Then this transplant over here, I planted after I'd already done the glads. So it looks just kind of funny. Then over here, zinnias are really putting on some size. The one dahlia that survived is going to town. I probably should stake it up. The rain really knocked it down. I have cut one labyrinth. Beautiful. Of course, it bloomed while I was away, but I salvaged it. And these zinnia I had cut, so they're not doing much of anything. And then we have kind of wild look over here. These planters are holding their own. Need to do some more cleanup. I have moved the urns that were in my front walkway over here since I was away, and it was in the 90s all week. I didn't want them to burn up to a crisp while my house sitter was here, so they've been in the shade. Some clearance plants, all those echinacea I got for a few dollars a piece. Impulse buy. I have no idea where I'm going to plant them. This is a lot of color. A lot of pollinators have been happy. Again, a little bit more cluttered and busy than I like, because I just love all the things, but they don't necessarily look good together. Perennials that I'm pretty happy with. Sedum that was transplanted this spring, looks nice there. Probably should have planted it about a foot farther to the back towards the apple tree. So that's a perennial. We have one catmint, and then the millennium alliums, the little barberry shrubs. And I put those daylilies back against the house. I really have decided I don't like daylilies. Beautiful blooms, but I don't know, they're just when they're not in bloom. The foliage is okay, but oftentimes it turns yellow because I don't do irrigation. So is it really worth it to have a plant that I don't love the look of? Probably not. Craspedia, not the best choice to put up in this bed. Never really looked good, never really branched out. Elephant ear in the back, holding its own. Has put on some new leaves. Still love that. This hydrangea is a monster. I don't know that I love it. It's leaning, probably should have staked it. Maybe I still can, I don't know if it's too late. And the side plants over here, nothing really exciting. The poppies have finally gone by. I just pulled them out because they were super leggy. Love, love, love this plant. What's going on here? Sleepy wet bees, maybe. And this salvia I planted after removing the one that's in the backyard. And it took a long time, but she's come around, so I'm okay with that. Still not as big as ones in the past, but everything's holding its own for a very hot, muggy, dry August.